Hello. Night Lords are a very niche army. Some people like them, some people don't, and that's fine. We're all allowed to have tastes and things, but this video isn't about what each of us like or dislike. This isn't a basic lore video. No. The main objective of this video is to convert more people into liking Night Lords and nothing else. If you enjoy being brainwashed by this content, you will like and you will subscribe, and you will comment down below Ave Dominus Nox in all caps, or else I will crawl out from the dark and do unspeakable things to you and your dog. That being said, Night Lords are not a stealth army. No matter what anyone says, they are not about being sneaky and blasting MCR, that's Raven Guard. No, Night Lords also aren't about deception and bullshittery, but Alpha Legion are also really cool and fun. No, Night Lords operate in one specific manner, in one specific way, and do it without fault or failure. Night Lords operate through fear. That is their craft, and they are masters at it. Dark Eldar also do a similar thing, but they're more about torture than fear. For them, it's about the pain, whereas Night Lords, they're about the fear itself, as a means to an end. At least originally. The Night Lords all originate from one man in his pursuit of justice. Now hold on. This man was thrown into a wretched world caked in darkness, crime, and fundamental evil. This man's name was Konrad Kurze. But as he survived Nostromo, he would soon come to be known as the Night Haunter. As the Night Haunter, Konrad Kurze would peruse the streets of Nostromo as a vigilante and dish out justice wherever he saw fit to all crimes, irrespective to their severity. You committed murder? Punishment. You raped a person? You'd be punished. You stole a loaf of bread? Bam. Woe, punishment to be upon ye. And very often, this punishment would be a prolonged and brutal death. Though, the instillment of fear in the populace of Nostromo, the world became cleansed of all crime, and Nostromo was safe again. These actions would stay with Konrad Kurze, as he learned that these extreme methods were the only way to ensure safety and order in any system. Later in his life, Konrad would then meet the Emperor of Mankind on his Great Crusade. Normally, the reunion of Primarchs to the Emperor is a deeply emotional, happy moment, overjoyed, Fulgrim cried. But for Kurze, it was the single most harrowing experience of his life. See, Konrad Kurze had this ability to see the future with absolute clarity, and with this talent, he kept the streets of Nostromo clean. However, the vision that Kurze received as he saw the Emperor was a vision of his death at the hands of the Emperor. Kurze knew that this was an extremely dangerous and violent man who would never and should never be wronged. So reluctantly, Konrad Kurze became the 7th Primarch of the Night Lords Legion. Not 7th Primarch of the Legion, he's just the 7th Primarch who leads the Night Lords Legion. During the period of the Great Crusade, Konrad Kurze became distinguished for his method of warfare, preferred and only. Fear was the knife that he used to carve out disloyalty and insurrection to all Imperial worlds, and he was a ruthless butcher. The first Night Lords he commanded were Terran-born, and knew only loyalty and justice. At this time, his legion was the perfect law-keeping force that Konrad could only have ever dreamed of on Nostromo. However, through multiple engagements and brutal campaigns, Night Lord casualties had to be replenished. These new Night Lords, though, would not come from Terra. They would come from Konrad Kurze's homeworld of Nostromo. Here's the catch. Given the fact that Konrad Kurze was delivering brutal justice throughout the galaxy, Nostromo was neglected. And so crime rose up again, and as a matter of fact, became far worse than it had ever been, as criminals used the methods that Kurze had shown them in his attempt to stop crime once and for all. This had a trickle-down effect, as the new aspirants for the Night Lords Legion were now the most violent and depraved criminals who had no sense of justice or honor. And as more and more of the new Night Lords replaced the once just and righteous old guard, the Legion fell deeper and deeper into depravity, and Kurze grew ever more spiteful, hateful, and resentful of his own Legion. The story of the Night Lords is not a horror thriller or some true crime story. It's a tragedy, a fall from grace, a heartbreaking and emotional truth that is, when people are given absolute power, people become absolutely corrupt. Konrad Kurze knew this, and so became ever more distant from his Legion. Paired with the visions of his death at the hands of his father, he was driven into insanity. And that is why I love the Night Lords. A good story does not leave you satisfied. It leaves with you, actually, as you ponder, what if this were different? What if they chose the other option? And that is the Night Lords. A man who wanted good, having his actions mutilated into a perverted evil of his own making, driven to madness because he knows it's all his fault. And the guilt and shame of a fundamental failure, knowing that his ends do not justify the means, is what broke him. Fuck, even as I'm reading this, I'm getting goosebumps because the Night Lords are so fucking good. The Night Lords are the best written faction in Warhammer 40,000, and you should play them, if not in the Horus Heresy, where these rules are reflected, then in 40k, because they are the bad guys. They are evil, and they are justified in that evil, because they tried so desperately to be good. And if they cannot be good, then they must be evil. In the 41st millennium, the Night Lords are a fractured legion, having broken apart since the death of their Gene Father and the disappearance of the only commander that they universally respected. They are a depraved and cowardly bunch of traitors and work in secrecy and fear. They are a fantastic faction to play because they lean hard into what it is that makes bad guys so fun to play as. They are brutal, cunning, ruthless, and they are a blast on the tabletop. If you like cool freehand details, if you like brutal, gory greeblies, if you like lightning fast shock assaults that are perfectly timed and leave no trace of a body behind, Night Lords are absolutely for you. And if they aren't, then they better soon be. Thank you so much for watching. I know this isn't my usual type of content, but if you did like this video, consider giving a like, subscribing, and comment down below. Ave Dominus Nox, full caps. And I will be watching you from the shadows for any unlawful behavior.